Here's a list of shows that I'd like to see come back in a reboot or remake or something of that nature. Dinosaurs. A cartoon series about dinosaurs from another planet that battled other dinosaurs from another planet. Much along the same line as Transformers versus the Decepticons. Aliens from another world that looked like dinosaurs and talked and stuff and could transform into more powerful but simultaneously less intelligent versions of themselves was a good idea at its time. It was corny and silly and stupid and fun, but I think it would look pretty awesome if redone and treated well. On the same topic as dinosaurs, it would be fun to bring back Denver the Last Dinosaur and try to do something with the whole idea of having a dinosaur as a pet that you keep secret and keep trying to hide for different reasons. Maybe take it in a completely different, unexpected direction. Alf, or Mort and Mindy, or Third Rock from the Sun, or any of those other TV shows where an alien stays with a family on Earth and has to keep the fact that they are aliens secret while learning about Earth culture and getting into all kinds of wacky situations. That's another show I'd like to see brought back in some way or another, and maybe get to do a little more sci-fi with it, as we now have more special effects and can come up with more amazing original ideas. Monsters High, I'd like to see rebooted, completely rebooted. Take the art style and the writing and toss them out and create completely new art style for the characters and write the strips better. Almost like the way Hotel Transylvania is presented, only a little more teenage or a little more high school. But definitely make the characters look like monsters more than girls. I'd love to see Hey Arnold come back, just to finish up that series and bring a conclusion to the storyline. Even if it's not the full series, at least give us the Jungle movie we've always wanted. DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Chippendale, and Tailspin. I'd love to see this block of cartoons come back. Well, I've heard it's possible there could be a DuckTales thing in the works. I can't confirm it as a confirmed reboot yet. I'd also like to see Gargoyles come back while we're on the subject of TV shows I want to see return. They did a lot of good stuff with Gargoyles, and I think they could continue doing good stuff with them. When the series came back in comic book form, it was actually able to do good episodes. Likewise, Darkwing Duck did good stuff when it came back as a comic book, but neither of these comics stayed around. I'd also like to see Kim Possible come back, but rather than reboot the series and redo the high school years, take the series on forward and have it do the college and young adult adventures of the established characters, continuing the continuity from where they left off. Ever since Cartoon Network got rid of almost everything DCU related and decided to do only that horrible sorry excuse for a cartoon series, Teen Titans Go, which I hate because it's bad, not because my judgment is clouded by nostalgia, it's about time that we bring back DC cartoons. Give us Batman, give us Superman, give us Young Justice, give us Teen Titans, give us Wonder Woman, give us Green Lantern, give us the Justice League, give us any number of DC characters in their own cartoon series, but make it with quality and love and care. I also suggest rebooting the Marvel Universe as well. Go back to the way Marvel was before Disney bought it out. Go back to what DC and Marvel were back in the 90s era when they still told good stories. Even the early 2000s told good stories. The recent stuff post Batman Brave and the Bold just hasn't been cutting it, and they deserve to have that new chance again. Go back to what you're doing with Young Justice and Green Lantern and bring us more of that quality. Another series that I think would be interesting to reboot would be Jabberjaw, a series about a shark that walked on land and talked and played in a rock band that got into various hijinks. It's an interesting story to play around with, and I think a new art style, maybe even computer generated, could make the characters look more interesting. Next on the list is Snorts. If you can bring back Smurfs and make that popular again, have it be a live action series and then reboot it again as an animated series as they plan to do, why not do the same thing with Snorts? Snorts were the other small character that was very similar to Smurfs in concept, but was set underwater as opposed to on dry land. Next thing I'd like to bring back is Fraggle Rock. This was a great series, and it'd be interesting to either continue the series from where the series ended and write an episode about who inherits Doc's old house now that he's not living there anymore, or maybe reboot the series completely and go back to the beginning and redo some of the old concepts. Next thing I'd like to bring back is Bewitched, but instead of having it being stuck in the era that it was created in, have it be modernized, have the female characters have equal rights, have the male character actually want the female character to use magic. Rather than keeping magic a secret, have episodes where the male character doesn't feel he has to be dominating and in control, but rather show that the characters, rather than having the female respect the male's place as an authority figure, have the characters get along and love each other as equals, but not have so much emphasis on the need to keep things secret, or the whole I'm the man of the house, I'm going to forbid any magic whatsoever. Rather have the character be like, oh, if you have magic you might as well use it type of attitude. Next series I'd like to bring back is Addams Family. There's been many reboots of this, but nothing recent, and I think the chemistry between the characters could work out well if done right. Another series that I'd like to bring back is Dragnet. I definitely think it could be interesting to bring these characters back and continue telling stories with them and doing a police show in that sort of format. Another show I'd like to see modernized, even though I wouldn't dare see it be touched because it is such a classic, but often I wonder how the series would play out if it was modernized, and that is I Love Lucy. The series is such a time capsule of its era, has so many situations that would only happen in the 1950s under the way life was in the 50s, and I often wonder what would a character like Lucy get into if she was living in the modern world with modern technology. Although it would be nearly impossible to recapture the chemistry of the characters and the exact situations that they all got into. Another show that I'd like to see Rebooted is Dexter's Lab. They had a lot of good ideas and didn't really have to end when they did end. They could have kept going a little bit longer, maybe even done some crossovers with the other Cartoon Network shows. It would be really nice to bring back the old Cartoon Fridays lineup, in fact, and try to form a single connected universe where all the characters live in the same world and can cross over regularly on each other's shows. That would be the real fun of it. Another series I'd like to see get done more of is Puta. It was an enjoyable series, much like Powerpuff Girls or something of that nature, and it could definitely be brought back with good results. Another series I'd like to see continued is Making Fiends. It was a nice little concept that was going someplace interesting. The art style might have been a turn-off at first, but it was really an actual good series, and I think it could go somewhere with it. I'd also like to see Growing Up Creepy brought back. I think these are all shows that were cancelled when Discovery Kids was taken over by Hub. Now that we have Discovery Family back, I do tend to wonder if some of the old Discovery Kids shows will come back with new episodes, and I hope that they do. Other shows that I think could do well if they came back: Captain N and Zelda and Mario. While these were corny at the time, they were much better representations of video games than what we've gotten in more recent years. It's hard for me to say right now without rewatching them how well different video game based cartoons do, but video game based things really don't have a good reputation, and at least the Zelda cartoons and Mario cartoons were doing the best with what they had at the time. And while Captain N obviously never watched any of the games that were featured on the cartoon series, I also never played any of those games until much later in my life, and never noticed the inconsistencies and inaccuracies of the games on the series until much later. I think Captain N could benefit from having a lot more Nintendo characters on, as well as from having updated technology that keeps up with the ever-changing times. And Zelda Mario could also benefit from a return and a reboot, taking into consideration the timeline of both series and the new characters that have come out since those series have been on. And a final thing that I think would work out well as a rebooted or brought back TV series is today's special, a kid's show about a mannequin brought to life by a magical enchanted hat who was curious about the world around him. I don't know if the series is really good, but it was interesting as a kid. Likewise, I'd probably also bring back the kids' Bible series, The Flying House. Some of these shows that have been rebooted recently, or are getting reboots, or have had reboots in some format that I can't find currently, include, and are not limited to, the Powerpuff Girls, Heroes, Scooby-Doo, Ben 10, Toad Lyoko, Sonic the Hedgehog, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Inspector Gadget, Superbook, and Rainbow Bright. All of these have had some kind of incarnation come out recently in some format or another, or have their reboots planned on the way to come out soon.